We know these players coming into this competition are incredibly solid, and I'm excited to see them get going again, Hawk, as we jump into Mirage.
Jumping into it, we'll see what Sharks have to show us at the start of their T side. They're going straight over to this B bomb site. They will take a little bit of time because they have some nades at the ready to deploy in towards B.
It's going to be a B hit from Sharks at the minute. Just waiting for the time to strike, and here comes that utility. Bit will be the player standing with. He has got his teammate DGT trying to help him out as his B attack starts to come through. First headshot is actually Bit to pick up. DGT isn't really even required yet because Tries come over to help him out as well. So far, so good for the defense. They just keep taking every single headshot. JNT and Pink left alone, and it is going to be this 3v2. They have been able to plant the bomb, and that's a big problem. Now just JNT looking for his clutch. He's found one, but he needs two more. He has turned them into 1v1s, and you have to worry about that apartment's play. And JNT, here's the footsteps. He's got the read. He's turned it into a 1v1. He's looking for the clutch, and he just can't do it. Max will save this team. 9C, that should have been much cleaner, Hawka, but nearly a highlight in round one.
Yeah, Try already having impact, but JNT nearly had the pick of the round there. Almost getting the quad kill before getting shut down at the end. And it's not a bad pistol round strat from Sharks. They have the smokes into the B bomb site, but the problem was that short smoke they threw was so far back on short that the player at Pillar could fight ahead of it. They got that crossfire initially, and despite JNT's best efforts, that was always an unlikely round from that position he was left in. So nice try and come back into the round, but not meant to be this time. And because of those extra kills JNT got, he's happy to get a dig into this round, while his teammates aren't quite able to do the same. It's quite nice seeing one of these second round ecos, Dinko. They're rare nowadays.
Really is, you know, you just use this bye. Okay, this is why. The Eagle just cracking the head of Bit on the jump spot. Yeah, you never really can count out many weapons in this game, but I think even with that one kill, Hawk, I think it's fair to say we're not expecting too much more out of Sharks in this one. For 9Z, it's all about just limiting the casualties, right? Just making sure you don't lose too many players. That kill, you can't really do too much about that, right? You're approaching it intelligently from Bit, you know, the jump spot, but sometimes you can't account for the individual skill on the other side of things. It should be damage control at the moment.
Oh boy, there's another one. That Deagle is really just making its presence felt on the server right now. You keep hearing the shots rattled off, but at least there's low time. 31 seconds remaining. Sharks still have to group up, and they're hoping that this advanced position from Lukowski can help cut off the rotates as they go back to B.
It should be enough here with a FAMAS even to try and slow this down. Just sort of thin the herd a little bit. He's done 1 and 2 from DGT. Good hold so far, and switches out to the USP for the third kill. Lukowski on the flank in behind 9 seconds, wants to die before the time, and that smoke might make things a little too difficult, but he's going to run through with his knife out, gets a kill onto DGT, and now maybe saving an MP9 into the next round. He has got a little bit of cash left over at $2,650, and at least he'll have that to play with, but his teammates are able to purchase up. So AK-47 is going to be out in play. J&T will have the MP9 in hand with the rest of his teammates getting the rifles out. Here comes the buys for both teams, Hawker.
And because of that second round eco, they don't have to go up against that AWP of Try just yet. We talked about how important that could be for the CTs. He's rocking the AUG right now, so that might give Sharks a slightly better chance. They don't have to go up against that AWP in this first gun round.
Incredibly important to just stamp some authority over this T side by winning this first gun round if you're Sharks. I'm going to try and play into mid, but DGT has gone for a bit of an aggressive stance up into short. He has spotted one player towards top middle, but he's actually got away with the timing. DGT respects that and drops back. There's no point in hanging around in that position for one kill. You're likely to be traded out. You're a sitting duck in that spot, so better just fall back and keep your life at this point. Slow approaches. Looks like 9Z really want that mid control, though.
Smoke went into connector, but it was bypassed by the CTs. Keep that control. Max now blind, though, and he's blindly spraying into the middle of both of those players. They can easily take him down, and Sharks have the man advantage, but look at the health.
Look at this peek from Try as well. He swung too wide, though. Because of that, Reelson is able to trade out, and so we're into this 4 versus 3 man advantage with the Sharks. And yes, a couple of them low in HP, but now it's mainly just Realton on that low health. Strength in numbers, Sharks are going to group up and go for this B attack. Only one player here, and it's Bit. He's got the weakest weapon in play. The MP9 looking to try and mow them down. It's just one for him. And DGT realizes there was a possible flank to the window. So he's not over on B, but he has got that kill on the flanking player. That's enough to turn it into the 2 versus 2, and he's found the follow-up. He could do it all. He's so close to the final. Zevi now in a 1 versus 1. Rox is trying to get back into the site. It's been a pretty disjointed round from both teams, right? You've given a lot of 1v1 fights away. Now the round comes down to the 1v1. Zevi's position was the high ground, but Rox slipped on by. It's a 3rd round, and 9Z off to a flawless start in terms of the score. But that round was pretty scrappy from both sides, Holker.
Yeah, a real back and forth one. And because it was so close, because Sharks get the bomb plant, there's a very real chance they will be forcing straight back into this round. I think you almost have to at this point, because you know 9Z themselves will be reinvesting heavily, and you can still break that CT economy very easily if you keep rounds that close. I like how Sharks started that round too. They go for the mid control. They know it's unlikely they're up against an AWP. They even flash into connector to gain a lot of ground early before going back to B, which seems to be their favored bomb site so far. We'll see if that continues to be the case, though, as Lukowski again looks for mid control. This time, 9Z seem much more happy to give away mid. Pretty much no one on the map at mid right now, really.
Yeah, it's been a game plan for 9Z, I think, just to leave that mid control open. You had a couple of players in the previous round poking and prodding it around connector, just trying to pick up some info. No one really committed to taking mid control or really holding down many of the fights that I think Sharks are going to get mid to play with. In particular, in a round like this, it's getting into those choke points that becomes much more difficult, Hawker, because you waste all that utility getting into mid, right? And now at this point, you've still really got nowhere, and you've only got 1 smoke and a Molotov left. And that's what you've got to work with as the T side, and they've just lost a player as well.
And the CTs are also gaining ground back with their nades. They just flashed into ramp to get that early information. Rox is here. He can spot this early and put down his own smoke to buy even more time.
Yeah, do they respect it? It looks like they're going to try and get Pink out of Palace. They'd love
they have
to
no
try and
flash
take
to go
Rox
through
down.
it, though.
Yeah, they have no splash. They're going to have to just rely on timing. And while time is of the essence, 25 seconds left. They need to get out. And they're really worried about pushing it towards the A site right now. They've just lost that Palace player. And so 4v3, it is 9Z who have the man advantage. That 1 Molotov is buying so much time, holding him down in CT. They've got to go for the bomb plant. 10 seconds left on this. They have to go for the plant. And now 3 players pushing in from CT. There's just no shot at around with not enough utility to play with for the Sharks. 4-0 for 9Z. A really good understanding of how to draw out the utility of the T side.
Yeah, solid stuff so far from 9Z. And as you pointed out, just using up so many nades on mid makes a massive difference. That adjustment from Max was beautiful. But I really liked that 9Z have started this game by just sitting back so passively. They're basically saying, Sharks, you've got to prove to us that you can win these rounds with these late round plays, with these late round maneuvers. And so far, they haven't really been able to find themselves into those massively positive positions. They're back down to Deegs in this one, and maybe 9Z will finally have a chance to build up some of that money they've desperately been looking for.
And for Sharks, we know what they can do on Deagles. You've seen it before already in this match. We've seen a couple of ridiculous shots coming out of them. I think it's going to take a lot more than that to get anything going here for the T side. Has been cool to see so far. 9Z have been approaching this game in that fundamental style you were talking about, Hawker. You know, coming into this matchup, they are going to be approaching Counter-Strike, I would say, in the more orthodox European style we're used to seeing. But there comes the Eagles. Sometimes you cannot deny the South American burst of power with the Eagles. 2 kills have come in, and Sharks already stand a chance in the round.
It's just terrifying anytime you hear the Deeg rattle off those shots. Such a powerful weapon, such a powerful chance to get your team into the round. And now the CTs are taking a slight risk, rotating 2 players to B and leaving it all up to Rox over on A.
Rock's just done that. Oh my god, okay. These Deagles are just not missing a single pixel. Every shot is landing. And Sharks, this is not a round they should have won, but it's looking like they're first on the board. They've even tried to get a flank going over on B to cut off those rotations. That bomb has gone down. And a 4 versus 2, 9Z have conceded. And finally, Sharks onto the board, Hawkett. Not the round we were expecting them to win.
And maybe slightly surprising that this is a round where 9Z decide to challenge mid so aggressively in this sort of setup. Maybe they didn't fully keep track of that T-side economy, because that is a setup that can fall quite quickly. It can be quite brittle. That player standing out in the open at mid is always going to be in a spot where it's hard to get back safely, and it gave Sharks the chance to get some guns early. Not that they needed them. They just used the Deags the whole damn round, and they're forcing the CTs into this save, which may just about get them enough to think about buying into the next round. Whatever happens, though, it won't be perfect, and we still haven't really had that AWP out the try.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? We haven't had the big player arrive to the server yet, and you do want to see that money get into the bank accounts as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you enter this war of attrition that we see play Counter-Strike at the moment. The CT is always having to enter a situation of, do they buy now? Because we're only one round away from putting that T economy down, and maybe if we win that follow-up, we can get control of this economy game. It's always a difficult battle to fight and a difficult question to answer. I think throughout the qualifiers, Hawker, we've seen a lot of teams struggling with what they should do. And I think we see a lot of teams in the qualifiers at that lower level actually make the wrong decisions, and it costs them spots in these events.
Another round here where 9Z don't focus much on mid, but this time there is a slight shift in their setup as they've taken that early ramp control to try and see if they can spot some advanced info.
I do like the setup, but they're aware of it here, Sharks. You know, it's throwing that flash down into ramp. They're going to be checking this. Such a tentative, slow approach from Sharks at the moment. Once again, they're given mid control, and I think they'll start to realize they don't have to use much utility at the beginning of the round to take this mid control off of 9Z, which means they will have extra nades for when they want to hit those choke points. But here they come into ramp. Good shoulder peek out, and that's going to get the info that Rox is pushed in towards ramp. The deep smoke comes through from Sharks.
It is somewhat tempting to peek behind this. You can see Rox spotting above right now, but I think he may start to fall back because he has a smoke of his own, and he could buy even more time as this bomb comes towards A.
Yeah, this is annoying for Sharks to be in. You've got to wait out all of the CT utility. They haven't done a great job at drawing it out early in the round, and so here comes the attack out. Max and Try found the first two. Max is still alive inside of the site. Try still there kicking as well. This is starting to fall apart. Again, Sharks, the disjointed gun round, and they're getting torn to shreds. 9Z are just doing a fantastic job, Hawkett, just holding on that utility. Sharks get nowhere again in the final moments.
And you see why they are going for these occasional aggressive stances, because you don't have to use those smokes when you've got that early info and that early map control. You can save that utility for the late round. Try starting to land some nice shots with the AK, and now he even has that AWP into his hands. And this is where that AWP might try to challenge mid. That could be something that Sharks aren't expecting if he were to do it. But we could also just see a switch up from Sharks. They're all out on this A site.
They're just running quickly, just swap. They can't throw utility if we run fast enough. That's their idea here, and it's working out enough to get them onto the bomb site. They haven't been able to put that bomb down, and they've taken significant damage. Great nade as well there from DGT. It lands perfectly into position. Smoking towards top con, going to be holding them back for the meantime, but this retake, it is going to have to try and get through the AWP of Zevi, and now it is only the AWP of Zevi left alone, and that should be enough to bring him down. Just so many members left for 9Z. I mean, I like the idea from Sharks to go for a bit of a quicker play into A, but what it tells me, Hawk, is they're starting to run out of ideas already on this T side.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely important that they just went for something slightly faster, because you could really tell from the previous round that 9Z were just figuring out exactly what they needed to do in these standard rounds, and they were getting way too comfortable on their CT side. So I agree that they needed to go for the faster play. Like you said, though, that oftentimes is a sign that a team is struggling to come up with solutions. That is a crazy stat.
Yeah,
The
try and stop me.
I mean, phew.
So if you're listening, at home. We'll bring that up a little bit in the future. But yeah, Try has been incredible, Hawker. He has just been looking so good. I think he's a player that I want to see get onto an even stronger team in the future. It would be great to see him really test his chops somewhere that's going to challenge him a little bit more. And you get to see really where his style will work. And I think we've already seen some early signs it's going to be pretty effective all over the shop. But look at this from Realsing. He's just so quick out of the A-ramp, putting pressure on towards Max. And he's hitting back in towards CT spawn in behind cover, but they're unrelenting. Sharks are running it back to back. They call the timeout. Oh, they're going to come up with something completely different. They just rush A again.
Max is still trying to buy time with his utility here, though, and he may do enough to allow his teammates to start to try and help out. Panked down low from the flames, and they're yet to get that bomb down.
This is a little worrying, but the kills are starting to come in. The bomb doesn't need to go down if you're going to have 9C just peeking into you. As long as you take all those kills, that's going to be enough. And so they're forced away here. And Sharks, I really like that, Hawk. That's big brain, actually. You know, you rush A, you get destroyed. So you immediately take a timeout. The last thing you think your opponent is going to do is run that fast A strat again, but this time they do it. And that was just awesome.
It was really well timed too for Realsin just to get there ahead of those nades because the molly was keeping the teammates out. That's a nice shot from Try. He's only saving, but he's still showing us some of what he can do.
You can see how much they want to get that AWP out of his hands because they know how much of a problem it can be, but the issue is right now you don't exactly have the most amount of money on that T side to throw away, so he will get that AWP into the next round. And that is certainly something you have to talk about coming into this one, Hawkeye. You've still got that open play for the CT side. You've still got enough money to get rifles out around it. And for Sharks, well, I don't think they can run the fast A again. We're going to have to see something different out of them again here.
There's so many options for the AWP on CT side to have impact. If he can get the right read on where he needs to be, he could shut them down at mid. There's aggressive plays on A and B that you can make, but it's aggressive plays up mid from the rifles and rocks. Oh my goodness, how does that happen? Lukowski jumping around the back, but he still gets snuffed out.
I thought he was going to kill his teammate, to be honest. Max looked like he was about to get lined up. 2 for 1. But unfortunately, for Sharks, they didn't actually lose their opponent there in the battle. 4 versus 5, a completely different round there out of 9Z. They've been giving map control to Sharks pretty much every round. And that time, they just send it up middle. Have those multiple players just taking that top mid control. That is going to slow Sharks down and throw off their default.
Could definitely make Sharks have to come up with some sort of plan B, which you never want to have to do mid-round. At least they do have a bit of time to figure out exactly what they want to do. The flash set up for Connector to make sure that mid can be fully in their control. Now that they have that, though, how are they going to split onto a bomb site? If they only use mid to push, you'd think they could get shut down in some of these choke points. And again, that time is going against them, but they'll try and see if they can split B.
Yeah, it's going to be this B split. But the problem here that this time around is there's 2 players in defense. And so often it has only been 1. But they got to deal with this initial peek from Bit, who's in a good spot to deal out that initial damage. And he's going to do some damage for no kill. And so they jump into rocks. And he gets put it out very quickly. Bit is under a lot of pressure right now. Luckily, rotations are quick and the bomb's down short. 10 seconds left. Bomb's down on the ground. And JNT, there's just no time to make this happen. He's just stuck in position with absolutely no shot at a round win. And in fact, they're letting that clock run down. They want to kill him after the time. And he just about survives. Try takes him out of the round. 7-2 on the board for 9Z. And for Sharks, it really does feel quite desperate. The only rounds that have worked for them are these APOPs or Deagle round, and they're not exactly replicable. You can't turn those into consistent round wins, Hawker. And it seems in the mid round, they don't really have an idea at the moment.
Yeah, they're struggling whenever they don't get everything they want. They're struggling to find ways into these rounds. They're having to go for these late round plays. And credit to 9Z, they are dealing with them really well. But at the same time, Sharks need to be able to find ways into these rounds more successfully.
Utility.
Yeah, they're trying to be really annoying right now.
They naded the run boost and they mollied behind the top boxes. So when Lukowski successfully gets through the run boost, he takes damage from the initial nade, lands right into a Molotov, and then they throw more utility at him, and now they have to give up mid control and they've wasted util. on the T side. Luckily, DGT does not win the fight at top mid, so not everything goes right there for 9Z. It was nearly perfect, but I don't think Sharks will complain too much about that now they've got that first pick.
JNT will hit this falling back. Yeah, it's cost them a lot. They're finally getting that mid control back, but they're using even more nades to do so. Because that aggression was so far up mid, they weren't entirely sure whether there could be more players here. Again, more utility being used on the mid play. But if they go back to B, which looks likely, they should still have a very good chance at the round. Bit does not have much help here on the B-bomb site.
He has been so intelligent, though, in his positional choices. This time, unfortunately, he is not going to be in the right spot. He gets taken down. JNT has cracked open his B site, and 9Z in a save situation. They don't have much money left over. Because, yes, we were having these rounds that they're winning the majority of them, but they are losing quite a lot of players in the fights as well. So that means their economy's not in a great spot. Sharks will find themselves back into contention on this first half. So if you win this next round, and you eliminate all those big players, their economy's not in a good spot here, the CTs. And so that does allow Sharks back into contention in the first half. But it has to be another round win for them in the next.
That is what they'll be looking for.
There you go, the player cams.
There we go. That's what we like to see. It's nice for Sharks to survive with 5-2. They will obviously be happy with that, keeping a bit more money for themselves, heading into the latter stages of this first half.
Look at this buy situation for the CTs. Money is gone now. Oh, poor Bit. As a B crew, you don't really want to be playing with a FAMAS Hawker.
No, it's not perfect. I am somewhat surprised we haven't seen Try set up for some more of these aggressive plays. He is going for one in Palace now, but there's no one there on the other side. It's the early mid control again. This time Lukowski won't be taking damage. I wouldn't have minded an apartments boost in this round from the AWP with that FAMAS on the B site, but decide to push Palace instead, and that could still work because Rox is looking for full information, pushing all the way into Palace, cutting off one angle of approach onto A.
It's pretty obvious right now to 9Z that Sharks are likely focusing in on that mid control. It's just been the start of most of the default rounds. Is this mid control? As long as you don't lose a play in the choke point, which, oh, Bit should not have gone down there. Bit needs to come out of that situation with a kill. JNT is going to be extremely happy about finding that pick.
And now 9Z are the ones that are having to respond, and yet again, they feel as though they need to take a risk. They rotate Max away from B, over to A, a three-man stack on that A site. DGT, again, would need a monster hold here, and I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, no utility really to help him out in this situation. He's really got to step up with that rifle, and they come on jumping out right into his position. He's looking to try and line them up, but he's taken down. JNT in with the first pick. And Try hasn't really got involved to the same level you would want. They've been very good at just avoiding him. And Lukowski drops the AWP down in CT spawn. And this is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of this. This is the round that if Sharks win, and they keep the majority of their players alive, they are now in a situation where they can finish with a very strong score at this half. The economy from the CTs is terrible. They've got nothing left. They have to save these two rifles, and it looks like the hunt is really on at this point. Max is starting to cower in the corner, and eventually he's going to be checked, and he doesn't even get a kill out of it. So just one rifle left in towards top middle. A little bit of a hunt going on for him as well. Realsic not going to be able to take him out. So Rox will get an AK. He will be the only remaining play for his team going into the next round. But it is an awful situation to be in right now for the CTs. You've lost control of that economy, and now this is where that half starts to really become difficult.
Yeah, just able to swarm that B site way too easily off the back of that initial kill. The FAMAS boosted up into the apartments, was hoping it could just play an unexpected position, but it needed at least one kill there. Otherwise, you go down a man, you have to take the risk. It doesn't work out for you, and you get left in a position where, like you said, there is almost nothing available for 9Z in this one. so they will be taking some liberties in this round. Already pushing into Palace, having some players around the underpass, seeing if they can try and be a nuisance. But Sharks are already starting to group up towards B. And they're not making any noise doing so.
Oh, a little bit of try, peeking up from the underpass. We'll just have to back away. Hasn't been able to get anything out of that. Not the best volley. That's when I throw Hawker, and that isn't recommended doing anything I do in the game. And it is going to be one pick for the CTs on that AK-47. That's another one up for grabs. 4 versus 4 at the moment. Sharks obviously still have that advantage, have the B site and all these weapons still alive. And 9Z, I think they might just be happy with those 2 AKs. So a couple more exit kills is all they're looking for at this point. The Sharks, they started to get in a rhythm on this T side now. Starting to really crush those B sites, getting through those choke points finally. I think a large part of their failure at the beginning of this Hawker was the fact they just weren't really winning too many of those initial gunfights, right? Bit was able to do a lot on those initial B holds. Now they're going down without much of a fight because Sharks are just so potent at the moment.
I do get the feeling that Sharks are hitting that B site slightly more than you might see other teams going for. Maybe because of the fact that Bit is playing there, and you would normally expect him to be the weakest fragger on this 9Z team as the leader and as that experienced player who's really here to help mold these other guys and help try and bring them up into the scene. Show them how it's done, so to speak. But Bit hasn't been playing too badly so far. Like you said, it's just been the early weaknesses in the rounds or the lack of nades and weapons in the recent rounds that have been costing them. And surprisingly, it's another timeout taken by Sharks. Clearly want to make sure they get as many rounds as possible now that they've hit their stride on this T side.
Fun fact, Bulba Watt, Try isn't just younger than the original Pokemon games, he's younger than the remakes of them. I'll probably fall into that category as well, Hawker. You know, one thing I don't admit to a lot of the time is I never played Pokemon.
I never had a Game Boy. I just had to play it on my friend's Game Boy.
Yeah.
And that meant there was only one save file, and he'd never let me overwrite his save file. So I would just play the first level over and over again.
Oh, no.
It's very sad.
Well, Hawker, now you get to play all the games you want, and you get to save them. And you decide to only play one game, so... Oh, 2 games. You play Trackmania and CSGO.
Exactly. I play Rocket League sometimes.
Okay. Nice.
Very occasionally.
Maybe we should get into Pokemon, Hawker. Maybe we just need to live some childhood issues, you know? The fact,
Maybe.
you know, I didn't play Pokemon.
They released the MOBA recently.
Yeah. I didn't see that. But we'll have to have a look at it. Anyway, right back into Counter-Strike. As you go, Max is going to be holding down his stairs. It's another one of these A executions from Sharks. We talked about how they were hitting B a lot in the previous rounds, but now they're going into A. Rock's going to try and hold from the middle of the bomb site. He peeks out in towards Tetris. He's found ahead. And here's Locality, the victim of his AK, and now he's caught them looking the wrong way. The flash from his teammate, J&T, getting caught because of it. And now they're trying to fight back and forth, but the T's are pinned and the rotation's in. It's just Sevi left alone. He's got an ult versus 3. Damn close to finding multiple. But when you've got an ult in that situation, you never really come out on top. 9Z back to winning ways, and Sharks, I'm sure they're going back to B. A did not work out for them.
Rox does such a good job here at just using that smoke and using the cover to dodge all sorts of nades, to dodge the flashes that are flying around so that he can quickly peek out and just be so annoying on the site. What Sharks want there is that quick kill so that they can get out onto A and they can stop 9Z from rotating. But instead, Rox survives a long time. Everyone from 9Z was sitting in jungle. They could just swing together because they all rotated over. And that's all about Rox buying all that time from the bomb site. That's what makes the round look so comfortable for 9Z. And now they go back to their standard setup. This time, though, Try is trying to AWP over towards the B apartments. But Sharks are rarely giving him these early opportunities. He's getting kills, but not often opening kills early in these rounds.
Smoke in towards window from Lacality. He's taking that mid-control relatively easily. Couple smokes up in towards the apartments as well. That's actually a very deep one. That's the deeper apartment smoke that should actually signal to Sharks that there could be a player playing in apartments. I think Bit has learned from his previous mistake of just staying tucked in the corner. Instead, he's going to use that slightly outward angle to try and get the first shots off, and that's going to work out for the kill. Instead of letting them walk into him and so often winning that battle, he's done well to pick up the first kill, and that slows things right down here for Sharks. They're going to try and fight back into the A side. One kill from Pack as he actually spams to the back of triple, but now Max having to tread out, and he couldn't follow up with any more than that. So we're back in a 3v3, but luckily you've got Try. He's got 12 kills so far with his AWP, and he's looking for even more. This A attack is starting to really heat up, though, because Zebi swung out of Palace. And now once again, it's a 2v2, but Zebi, he's the man on the server right now that's impressing. And it's DGT who has to pull back this clutch in the 1 versus 2.
Smoke to Palace will help, but there's still more positions to clear. DGT has to clear all of them, and Zevi peeks out from the side. A triple kill from the AWP on the T side, making all the difference there. And that is a scenario where I'm not sure if Try needs to push the bomb site quite so aggressively. Maybe he felt like he had to have the impact, but there's such little time left. Swinging into the open like that gives the opportunity to Zebi to take that first kill, and then because he's just posted up on the angle at that point, it's so much easier for the AWP from that point on to go ahead and win his team the round and put 9Z back down to this terrible bye into the last round of the half.
Yeah, this is a quick round, though, from Sharks. No dwelling on the past. It's a run through again up into short. DGT holding the ladder room. 1 kill for him, and that's going to be an upgrade. Got a better weapon out of that. He wants it on the ground. Lakowski's going to be peeking up into short. Pack has got a very important kill. Lakowski's gone down to rocks. At 3v3, this round is so chaotic at the beginning of this one. So many kills.
9Z probably prefer that, though. With their weaker weapons, they don't mind the round getting awkward and uncomfortable, but now that nade comes so close to the kill. Max just clutching onto whatever he can right now on 3 health.
Look at Bit, he's in behind Tohawk, he's pushed all the way behind into the ramp. He's got one out of the MP9, and Pinky's having a huge round. A double kill for him, and that might just be enough to secure the round win. DGT, he's tasked to trying to get rid of Zebi, who's just doing such a good job at staying alive. He's pinned in the corner at connector. He's got that open hand. He's using the utility, and it's going to work out perfectly. It's 7.5, as close as you can get it in this first. We'll see who can close it out as we head into the second. But right now, it's anybody's game.
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Cause I got no problems. Do you feel a little down? Say it. No problems. Let you in, but you out. Sing it. No problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Have none I need to worry about, cause I got no problem. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. And all I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems.
I'm like a puppet in your show. Just pull my strings and watch me go, go, go. When you say jump, I say how high. But I've hit the limit of your sky. Don't say nothing you'll regret, no.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7.5 as we hop right into the pistol. My name is Dinko, joined by Hawker. And there's no wasting time into this one, Hawker.
Yeah, such a close first half. We've got to see if the second is going to fulfill in the same way. Molly into window early, forces Zevi away. It doesn't actually land, but Zevi decides he doesn't want anything to do with this. And Try is running right up towards him. Not able to get the jump first time round. He gets it second time of asking. Oh, finally, JNT finds a fair fight through the smoke, and Zevi gets one of his own.
Oh, Zevi's looking to peek down in towards mid. Headshot comes in from Try, though. He has been able to find that reply pretty quickly. Now Pink inside of the connector. He's under so much pressure from two sides, though. The Glock has come in, and Pink is down. 3 versus 3 with a minute left of the clock, and the bomb, it's just gone down towards top connector. Now they've got to really try and figure out how they're going to recover that, and it's just DGT to do it all. I think he's got bigger problems on his mind right now, though. The fact that he's alone in a 1 versus 3. And they're all in such a good position right now. For DGT to even get close to that bomb is going to be huge, and actually, he has been able to find a 1 versus 1 against Lakowski. I think JNT dropping back. The double peek is the best option. JNT was hanging back in the murder hole just in case they transition to CT spawn, but when they know the position, they could double up, swing onto him, and the pistol is gone the other way.
A couple of awkward scenarios there, I would say, for 9Z. Firstly, just that smoke on short, having the gap gives an easy kill here to JNT. And then the fact that that player misses to jump up into the window just gives the CTs that extra bit of time to be ready for it second time round. Unfortunately, those early 2 kills made a massive difference in the outcome. And oh, that nade is so good. They may not have much in this round, but now they have even less. They're low on health.
Yeah, Pine coming in with the UMP. It's just 1 for him as he goes in for a second. He's done well to find Bit. The rest of the squad mauled to pieces, and Sharks into the lead. A huge step up from them. That's a beautiful way to deal in with that. 9Z had no shot, but here comes the AKs. This is what we want to see out for 9Z. And Sharks have got themselves a little bit of a bonus going on here, Hawkeye. You know, UMPs, Scouts, FAMAS, MP9s. Realistically, 9Z should win this round.
Yeah, they've got the AKs, they've got the nades to do it. They do need to be efficient with that utility. Already using just a single smoke and flash on the mid control. They're not scared of an AWP. They know it's likely this weaker weapon mixed in on the Shark side. The Scout is the best that they can get. So the mid control can be taken freely. And this is where we get to see if 9Z can use that mid control more effectively than Sharks did. Because Sharks really struggled to split the sites late into the round. They struggled to find the right solutions. Yep. 9Z are now just leaving 1 man on the lurk as they go back to A.
And JNT just waiting till the last second before he pulls his smoke out. He's going to try and buy as much time as possible. The utility comes in and the smoke goes down just in the nick of time. They know JNT's on the other side of it, so you do not want to run through that smoke if you're on the T side. It's going to give you a huge disadvantage. You're going to start backing off, and that's enough actually to force them to a different avenue of approach. They wanted to go out A. But all this util being used up in towards ramp has forced Sharks to think about, or should I say 9Z to think about a different avenue, and they're going to go mid. Good for an A split though if they go through connector.
I think it has to be. 34 seconds. They're not budging from that A bomb site, and now they have the pick they were looking for.
What a shot from Max. Zevi stood no chance on top of Ticket. They still haven't come out of ramp though. And Pink is close. Yes, he's got a weaker gun, but his position is so close he can rattle off the first bullet. But that smoke starts to fade away, and that's going to be a distraction. This ramp play needs to come through finally. DGT emerges from the ramp smoke, but he's emerged alone. All of his teammates are down, and Sharks once again shut down the A play. And it's done this time on a bonus against full AKs.
They just got everyone onto that A site so quickly. You see DGT at the end there, you feel like he maybe just has to kill one player to get onto the site, but they were both right near him. They were both on the bomb site already. The late round play unsuccessful this time for 9Z, and now they have to go back down to pistols themselves. They did struggle. They actually lost against one of these D grounds previously, so they'll be hoping for revenge in that aspect. Hoping that they can win a D ground of their own, but they're up against a couple of AWPs, a really strong CT buy. And without the utility, dry peeking an AWP is difficult. Even with how good the D can be, it's hard to land those shots, but they've already got one.
And Zevi just hold down CT spawn. He's done well with that first pick. Rox is down okay. Zevi is just on another level right now. He's having so much fun against this eco. It's a shooting gallery for him. He's starting to get warmed up, and that's scary. If you're on the 9Z side of things, you got to worry about his potential going into these next few rounds. Zevi was an animal in the first half, at least in the closing few rounds, and that's a great round to pick up some confidence and momentum heading into the second, into these gun rounds.
Zevi was their top-rated player in the qualifier too. To get to this event, Sharks had to play in that closed qualifier. They were able to beat Isurus 2-0, and then they took a pretty tight series against Paqueta, where they beat them 2-1 to make it through to this main event as the top team from that closed qualifier. And they are showing right now that they are real competitors in this. And I think South America in general could be quite close, certainly based on this first map. We have got the buys back out, and DGT is waiting to pull the trigger. Easy early kill, and now Sharks might start to panic slightly.
Yeah, 5v4 right now. 9Z in a really solid spot with that first pick, and that B site. There was no one anywhere near the only player here right now. They're just banking on them not finishing on this B site. And the bomb's actually leaving B and going back into middle. And there's the pick onto the only B player. That is going to force a rotation now, surely. No, they're just going to gamble. They're going to gamble for it being A. And if they go B, then just save on the CT side at A, I would assume. So 9Z, they've got a 50-50 chance here. Do they go B? Or they can walk back into the A side right now. Looks like mid-control is the factor that really starts to play into this. And it looks like they want to go for a B split. That lit player up in the apartments, getting connector control. It doesn't really matter where they go, Hawker, because no matter where they go, they're just getting headshots. So, I mean, that's a way of winning around as well.
Yeah, that works just fine right now for 9Z. Getting a T round off your individual skill is never something you'll be complaining about. Starting to make their move on the B bomb site, which they will soon realize is completely clear. And the only question at this point is, do they want to hunt down these CT guns, or would they rather focus on their own money? They can maybe commit 1 or 2 players, but you definitely want to have a fair few players surviving at the end of this one. They've already lost 1 man, but Rox catches Lukowski on the cross back. Pank is the 1 man remaining. He may be allowed to save the AK now, as 9Z would rather just focus on saving their 3 guns. But a much-needed round win for 9Z here on this T side.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little worried for 9Z coming into the second half. I really started to feel like Sharks were the momentum-based team there. But 9Z have been able to find an important foothold in the second half, and will that be their way back into this? Your 1x bet player impact coming from Rox in that round. Definitely has been pretty impressive. Sharks have got money for a buy here. But once again, we're at that scenario where it is the last stand buy. Now, they lose the money here, they're out of it. And it should be 9Z actually pushing towards tying this scoreline up, or at least getting close to that number. So, Sharks, this is an important round ahead of them. Luckily, you've got the hands of Zevi around that big AWP.
He was playing window initially, but has decided to switch up that position on the sniper. This is something you'll see often on the CT side. Those AWPers can play so dynamically. They can basically pick their spots, and they should pick their spots. As the CT AWP on Mirage, you can basically call wherever you want to go. If you're feeling it's an A play, you can play on A. If you're feeling it's a B play, you can play on B and have a lot of impact. And right now, Zevi is deciding to play towards A, and that looks like the right read as 9Z start to slowly sneak up towards ramp.
Or J&T trying to throw that smoke down, but he doesn't know when the right time to do it is. There's a smoke in front of him. It's not a great smoke. J&T's going to try and play in it, but they're still worried about it. They're starting to spam through, trying to take it down, but J&T's just staying alive inside of it. Now he comes out of it. He's looking up towards Tetris, and he is out of it. It is going to be Zevi looking to take down this Tetris play. He's under so much pressure from Triple. It's going to be just staying there. He does not waver at all. He's just looking for headshots, and now pressure really starting to come through. The T's are finding all the kills, and Zevi was alone the whole time. His teammates all down around him, and 9Z will pick up that round. Not only do they win it, they do it in such a convincing style. It's put Sharks into a situation they have nothing to play with, and the T's are building up a lot of money. This is going to be the scoreline tied up, Holker. I wouldn't be surprised to see 9Z head into the lead very shortly.
That's a really frustrating round for Sharks too, because J&T standing there with the smoke out, and then one of his teammates throws a smoke into his back, which basically messes up the way he wants to try and throw the smoke. So it allows them to get out onto Tetris early. Even though he survived for a long time, he didn't really have a good backup plan there because he thought he was the man smoking. You can see that last time these teams played, only 8 rounds for 9Z on Mirage. This time, much closer so far. And that recent matchup between them wasn't all that recent. It was 6 months ago. So I'm sure a few things have changed since then. 9Z have been on a tear lately. They had a period where they were on some crazy, like 15-game win streak, playing against a lot of Argentinian teams. Now they've started to lose a couple against some of the stronger Brazilian squads. They are still very much a team we expect to be towards the top of this tournament.
Yeah, I believe this is a tech pause right now. Just waiting for that to get resolved, and then we can return to the action again. Over on the B stream, you got to see it during the halftime break. An incredible quick game, it looks like, over there. I'm not quite following the scoreline at the moment, Holker, but as we've seen it at halftime, looked incredibly one-sided for Paqueta. It was 13-5 as we head into our game. So over on that B stream, that's Yumi and T-Time covering the action over there. I think that's on ESL_CSGO B over there, perhaps. Let me have a confirmation of that.
Yeah, I believe you are right. You are correct, Dinko.
Wow, I did it.
Gonna get fired today.
I did it.
Well, quick update here from our game on this main stream. This started as a tactical timeout for Sharks. It has turned into a technical one as one of the coaches is having some PC issues. So we will get that sorted as soon as possible. Hopefully he's not got a wooden PC, Dinko. I mean, he's a coach, so he might actually have a trash PC. That's a real possibility. But most coaches used to play the game, so you'd hope he has a good PC. I'm just saying that you don't have to have a good PC to be a coach, you know? Wow, 11-10 scoreline. This one has been fairly close, but the thing I'm most impressed with from Sharks here is the way they've managed to kind of just make it so that Try doesn't get a lot of rounds where he can get multi-kills or he can get early kills in rounds. I mean, you look at the stats so far over on the advanced stats. Opening kills, Try hasn't been involved in any so far throughout this whole map. Normally on Mirage, you get loads of chances to go for the aggressive plays and to go get that early kill as an AWPer. He hasn't been able to do that at all. And he's also only had 2 rounds where he's got a multi-kill, where he's got more than 2 kills or 2+ kills. So they've really been able to slow down what Try's been doing. He's been playing okay, but he just hasn't been able to get as many opportunities as we normally see from him. I I think if anything, it's almost a positive sign for 9Z that they are keeping this map so close, despite Try not having his best game, and despite the fact that Zevi is actually out-AWPing Try right now, just based on numbers and based on the amount of kills he's been getting. Because that is not something you would often expect to be the case here in this series, or here in this map at least. Zevi has been stepping up so far, but Try's stats in the last few months are ridiculous. As we kind of pointed out earlier, he has a 1.35 rating. So I wouldn't expect Zevi to be able to out-AWP Try for the whole series or put up better numbers than him. But the fact that they have been able to avoid Try so far has been a positive sign for Sharks. But again, like I was saying, you look at the other side of it, 9Z have stayed competitive despite their best player not being a massive factor.
Yeah, and it kind of just shows the system that is in place. I mean, you mentioned that coming into this game, the fact that you have a player like Bit that can sit behind you and really come up with the solutions, the tactics for the team. And I think you've already seen the in-depth knowledge and approaches to the CT side in that first half for 9Z. You know, when things started to go rough in towards mid, they threw in some mid control strategy on CT side. You know, they had a lot of change-ups. Their utility usage was solid. And I think we got to see that on the T side now as well, where Sharks are throwing problems at them. And 9Z seem to be able to find the solutions and adapt. And I think we have a player like Bit, someone that can call and has that experience in the team. It's just much easier to be able to deal with the hard situations. Sharks come into it with their game plan and it'll take them pretty far, you know, it'll take them a few rounds. But once a problem arises, they've got to try and figure that out. The solution, they've got to adapt. And they didn't really do that on the T side. They didn't find too many success rounds in the mid round when they had to deal with a problem thrown at them. You mentioned it, they're really good when they're ahead and everything goes their way. But when there's a slight problem, an inconvenience, a hurdle, an obstacle on the way, that's where they sometimes trip and fall. And I think 9Z have that advantage here.
Does seem like it so far. And as you were saying, Bit is such an experienced player, not just in CSGO, but a lot of his success was you know, back in the older versions of the game, back on that
and in League of Legends as well.
roster. Yeah, he's doing it all, honestly.
Yeah, he's playing a lot of different games. I think he's one of the players that's played professional in the most amount of games in the world, so it's been awesome so far. But it has been cool to see the new updates to the game. Hawker, you play much of the new operation?
I haven't really had the chance to, because I was getting ready for our games today. But I've seen what's been going on. I've seen some of them.
Yeah, I had a little shot at playing earlier. I did a few missions with Blur, and then I had a few games I played with on the new Insurgent. Is that what it's called? Insurgent 2. It's a weird map. It is real weird. So there's 4 bomb sites. You guys haven't spawn points. You guys haven't got to play yet. It's a hostage map. And you basically get to choose where you spawn. You start in this little room, and then you choose what corner of the map you want to spawn in. And then you just have to like work around this Swedish neighborhood and pick up hostages. It's really weird.
Interesting.
But it's an actual matchmaking game. You can get rank off of it.
That's cool. I like that they're adding new stuff like this, where you can just you can test it out, and if you hate it, then you never have to play it again. It's nice to have the option. Right?
Yeah, I got my rank back off of that, so that was something. Back finally, gold Nova 3. Missed it. Here we go. 11-10. Sharks are in the lead by 1, but if you just forgot or have just tuned in, they didn't have much money going into this one, so they are down and out. It's likely 9Z tie up the scoreline here, and they are starting to pick up some momentum. It's starting to look strong on the T side, but this round should really have no problems. Bit is spotting them run into middle. This is the perfect round for Bit to pick up some. There's eco frags, get the stats up, make it look respectable towards the end of the game. And to tie up the scoreline, 11-11, just JNT left alone in this situation. Rox is taking his head right off his shoulders, and now we're all tied up.
The expected outcome does indeed come through, and now Sharks will slowly but surely be buying up what they can into this round, but they don't look like they're going to focus on the AWP for Zevi. Instead, it's JNT who picks up the AWP. He is the secondary AWPer for the team. I would normally see him as more of a turret-style AWPer, so we'll see if he just is happy to sit back. I believe he's also the in-game leader of the squad. So we'll see if he puts himself in a position to help his teammates frag out. Right now, though, 9Z again looking back towards that A bomb site. In fact, they're just walking out dry, and JNT can't see these Palace players. They're on the site right now.
Oh,
No.
Oh, he has no idea. It's going to be a jump scare for him. He's going to jump up, and he is going to start peering out for them. At this moment in time, 9Z not really looking to put too much pressure forward. They're taking the time on this one and finally coming out of Palace. It's been 1 kill for the Sharks so far. And JNT, I think at this point, will be able to have that impact he's looking for. His jump spotting, seeing they come out on the ramp, and okay, Try will win out that battle. His op's much stronger now. As 9Z, they are looking to try and push forward, but they're losing players. Lakowski taking his follow-up. That's Rocks down and out, and man advantage now for Sharks. For the 9Z side, they got to use whatever utility they have left, which is a couple of flashes, 1 smoke, and a Molotov. They're going to smoke off top con, and that's actually the perfect spot to smoke, because now the CTs don't really have much of a say. Zevi's having to make it work over towards the bin here. Spots out the op towards CT spawn, but that's not going to be able to be picked up just yet, and that bomb does get planted. 9Z need a kill, though. They need it desperately, and they're not finding a single one of those. This retake is all on Try to try and hold it off. The flash has gone down into the ramp, and I think at this point, it's a done deal. Defuse has already started. Try has to just get away with his life here. He's got to get away with that off. Peering for a shot, a good flick up, but Defuse has come in. And 12-11, the Sharks will go back into the lead.
Man, that start to the round shows just how tight the margins can be sometimes. The fact that JNT jump peeks over CT allows him to spot this player under Palace. You saw the panic just on the face cam. As soon as he saw that player, he started screaming, "Oh, what the hell? There's a guy under Palace. We don't know how he's got there, but we've just got to deal with him." That's exactly what the player from Stairs could rotate over and do. Hank won that first fight, and that meant that there wasn't any unexpected push onto A. Despite Try getting that trade back, they aren't able to fully flush their way out onto the site. But we are still with full buys for both teams, and yet again, 9Z able to get that early mid control without much of a fight.
Yeah, there's mid-control from 9Z. And it's just nice and easy for them. There's no pressure in from Sharks. They're letting them have that, very similar to the first half of Counter-Strike that was played by 9Z, in fact. Willing just let it come down to the battles and the choke points. Issue was for Sharks, they let that time run too low. We'll see if 9Z can force out some of that CT utility. Otherwise, that limited time is really going to come back to bite them. Reelson's gone pushing in towards B. This is very aggressive, and rotations over to B are solid because look at the information they're getting towards A. They've still got utility, and there's 40 seconds left. They're going to run through the smoke right into Reelson. He's found the bomb in 2, and AK picked up as well. And 9Z this round hasn't really even got going for them, but it's about to crumble beneath their feet. DGT with a Hail Mary play through the smoke. Zevi now under pressure on the B side. He's missed a shot, but luckily those rotations have come over, and he's got Lakowski just nipping at the heels, peeking out left and right. I don't know how they've done it, but they've got it into a 2 versus 2 here, 9Z. And these rotations from A have come forward. Max and Try, though, they get the kills. I don't know how 9Z win that round, but they're not complaining.
Against all odds in that round, 9Z find a way to win it. I thought they were done for as soon as they got stopped in the apartments. All the utility was designed to focus the players on the site. The flashes were thrown over the top of the apartments. So that man up close was able to get 2 kills, was able to be that brick wall and just deny the early play. But 9Z win every single further fight that they had to. Try sat up in the apartments. He knew he was eventually going to get given an opportunity for a fight. Then his teammate alongside him just wins another all-important battle. There were a couple of duels there where if 9Z lose them, they probably lose the round straight away. But they won every single one of those all-important duels. And that round right there could be a hugely decisive one on this first map. It puts Sharks back down to a poor position, and you almost feel bad for Sharks because they did almost everything right except for actually coming out with the round win.
And it's at such a crucial point in the game as well. Those rounds sting even more. didn't really affect the outcome of this final, this first map, and it has been a very close affair between the two teams. We're talking about this earlier today. This is exactly what we're expecting out of these rosters. Close enough matchup in the best of 3. Mid control yet again, 9Zs. There's no resistance in this round. I don't even think it's worthwhile talking about until Sharks give us something to shout about. But 9Z, this has been impressive so far. You need to talk about the fact that didn't really even need to see the most out of Try, right? It hasn't really just been a centric play around him so far. Has been a solid team effort out of a lot of players. You know, Try, yes, is top fragging for the team, but equalizing that is Max, and right behind him by 1 frag is DGT. So it has just been a solid team performance out of the 9Z side. And that's what we want to see going forward. It gives us more faith in them. Savvy under pressure on the B side. Does get cleared out by Rocks on the double. And Pink has been flanking this whole round, Alex. But what is the bet? He gets nothing out of it.
Nope. Straight away, as soon as you say it, it comes.
Imagine holding
fruition.
shift the whole time, and that's what you get to do in the round.
Yeah, it's a shame. Because if 9Z were maybe 10 seconds slower on their push, you might get a chance to get a kill in the backside. And then if you get a kill on the flank as they're already pushing the site, that's when the round can descend into some chaos, which is what you need. This is such an awkward fight. But finally, Max makes the most of his better weapon. The AK headshot connects. And 9Z are back into the lead. 13-12 in their favor. But here comes the buy out from Sharks. AWP back into the hands of Zevi, and this time they also get the AWP out for JNT. They really focusing the double AWP setup here. JNT not able to get Kevlar with that AWP. He's happy to go with it and just try and make the most out of those 2 snipers.
And Bit, he's going to run out in towards middle. He's got the itchy and line, chucking it down in towards Con, and look how much damage that's done. Zevi on 9 HP at the beginning of this one. Pink has taken significant damage as well. For 9Z, it is just all about playing this slow round now. They've done significant damage. They don't really know that they've done that. But they can just slow out this default. Looking to take some control of the B apartments. It's not a bad shout right now because there is only 1 player defending over there at the moment. It's Reels in position on B.
9Z seem fairly happy to continue to run down the clock though. They haven't used much utility yet, even though they used 2 nades on connector early. Their smokes and flashes are largely staying intact. Finally, some smokes come in towards mid. Cowsey might try and fight aggressively behind them, but I assume a flash should be coming his way shortly. Maybe not though. 9Z throwing the mid smokes, but not following up on them. That could give a tell away to Sharks that perhaps it will be a site play shortly.
Tries going to get that smoke in towards top car. Now the play out into Pike. He looks to hold on from the top of the stairs. Transitions back into position of A. They're under a lot of pressure here. J&T trying to hold from triple. He's holding that palace walk out. Has enough faith in his teammate, but maybe the faith is misplaced. He only gets 1, so J&T now has to try and step up. Patience for the palace pick has come through and worked out for him. Smokes up, disallowing his teammates a safe passage to try and help him out, but 13 seconds left. That bomb's going to go down, and JNT luckily taken down out of play. He was in a position where he could have denied the bomb plant. Now Reelson left in this 1v3 clutch. They know exactly where he should be. Don't know for sure that he's there, but they're throwing some utility down in towards jungle. Reelson hasn't been tied by that molly. He's on the other side of it, but no kit on his back. No real money to speak of. $0 in the bank, and no utility really for the retake attempt. And Bit is coming in for the flank as well. Reelson luckily gets out the window, down in towards underpass, and that is 14 rounds now for 9Z. Sharks, it looked competitive right up to the final moments there, Hawker, but in the end, it doesn't end up going that way.
Reelson needs to be careful. Missed shot will spell the end of him, and you see the paining reaction on his face. He really wanted that AWP to give them a chance. He really wanted to save to give them that gun that they could work with. This is just another round where 9Z are pretty on point individually. Max getting a couple of key kills. He retakes his place at the top of the team with 21 frags. Pretty even across the board though for 9Z. And without that save gun, Sharks just have pistols. And in what has been such a competitive map up until this point, it looks like Sharks might just let it slip right at the end here, Dinko.
Yeah, it's starting to look like that strong fight they put up here at Mirage. It looks like it's starting to crumble from beneath them. It is their map pick as well. Rocks, whoa, that is not a good spot to be caught in. E250 from Underwood, able to peek out, but the rest of his teammates luckily have the better weapons, the superior round. Out of 9Z, it does put Lukowski in this 1v4. And he's spotted dropping down into his underpass, Bit after him. And the AK does not forgive. Bit is relentless. It is no mercy policy, but it's Max that is just loving the server right now. 23 and 14. He's had a great performance. Top fragging for his team. Top fragging on the server now as well because of that. And he's at map point for 9Z.
Sharks searching for their way back in to their map pick right now. There were moments of this game where it looked like they might be able to take over, but 9Z have won a couple of key rounds to make sure they are the ones on top with a chance to win this map first. And there are a fair few players out on B right now. Boost up for Lukowski. He just about wins that fight and gets back safely. If that kill goes the other way, 9Z might pull the trigger on the B play, but instead they slow it down.
Reels in. He's going to be that first point of contact into B. And the only point of contact it looks like is they're actually going to send a rotation away. Lukowski's dropped back. It looks like going to trade positions at window. Are they going to go and recruit another member? It looks like they're just going to drop back. Lukowski plays from market instead. That does put more pressure onto Reels into B. That solid anchor on the bomb site needs to come away with at least a pick here. They are up a player already, so one could be enough. Lukowski's all bat. They already look like they were trading out weapons over there at window. And Lukowski's come in with one. Rox is down. Oh, a second kill from Railton. This is looking good on the hold. Finally, Bit swoops into action, but they're down 2 players still, and that bomb not going down. Rotation starting to come over as well. They're getting much more out of the T side. And will Bit be that man? Just waiting at the window in towards market. A couple of players on his right side, but he's worried about that smoke fade away. And now trying to get the angle. He spots the backside. Sevi brought down. Lukowski gives away his position as well with that AWP. And to no avail either. He doesn't find a kill. And so Bit is going to change up his position, trying to overrun and overwhelm the AWPer. And Lukowski, he is looking completely the wrong direction. And they've done it. What a clutch out of those 2 players. Absolutely huge stuff to close it out for 9Z.